And welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win, the week of Who Would Win. Now I'm caught up. I just got to do the what if today, and I'm all caught up. And so, coming to us from Pages of the Sun, we asked the question, who would win in a fight? Oh, God, it's still early, forgive me. Who would win in a fight? The Yautja Predator versus Hellboy. Hellboy's a unique case for a Predator to go up against. Technically, they're all somewhat unique cases, but some characters are more likely to be prey to a Predator than others. A Predator would certainly want to hunt Hellboy, but Hellboy is a pretty tough guy. Hellboy, obviously, is a half-human, half-demon hybrid. I believe he's not pure demon. He is, in fact, half-human. He wields I believe it's the right hand of fate or destiny. I can't remember if it's called fate or destiny. Either way, it's a indestructible key, as it turns out, that Hellboy's right hand is basically consisted of. Capable of pretty much blocking anything, dealing a lot of damage. Like I said, it actually is indestructible. The rest of the Hellboy, sadly, is not. So you can actually separate the key from his arm by cutting it off. But Hellboy is over like 70 plus years old. At least in the movies he was. And yet he's still very much in the prime of his life. He's barely in his 30s in terms of physicality. He's strong enough to lift, I think, several tons, but not by much. Like, his super strength is there, but it's surprisingly, like, low-key compared to what you might think for other individuals. But yes, he does have super strength. He's durable enough to take quite a bit of a beating, but he does bleed, and even just like a gunshot would, like, pierce him and hurt him. But he's also got enhanced recovery capabilities because of his demon heritage. He's got a massive amount of knowledge of the occult, capable of doing exorcisms, talking to the dead, interpreting spirits, doing like protection wards. He's got a lot of massive. That's where his real bread and butter comes from. He's actually just has so much knowledge of the supernatural. He's a crack shot with his massive F-off gun. The bullets are huge, and he's a crack shot. He's also skilled with just about any weapon you kind of put in his hand or hands, be it a giant sword, a smaller sword, knives, any sort of firearm weaponry, like a giant hammer. But, whatever he's got, whatever he has under his belt, he is skilled in. So the question is a Yautja, a Predator, skilled enough to take someone like Hellboy down? Well, the short answer to that would be theoretically yes. Is that the most likely outcome? A Predator physically is at least going to be capable of going toe-to-toe with a Hellboy for a while. The problem is going to be whenever he's delivering the right hook. Because the right hook, Predator does not have an answer to the right hook, unfortunately. He doesn't have a good answer to that because, again, it is technically it's technically an indestructible object, and he hits it with a lot of force. And Yautja tech, while powerful, durable, it's not indestructible. So the right arm's definitely going to be a problematic weapon to go up against. Like, if a Predator's blade, we'll still chip at it maybe a little bit, but it's not going to be able to really break it. So if they're going toe to toe with the blade to arm, the arm's going to win. Same with like the plasma caster. But I say all this like the arms. I'm saying this like the arm is the go-to win condition. It is not, because Hellboy is only so fast, only has so much reflexes. He's not going to be able to stop every attack. The Predator, shockingly, is also taller than Hellboy, at least depending on your interpretation. Like in the comics, Hellboy's in like his 60 or like in the 6 foot range. In the movies, but in the comics, Hellboy is like taller than that. He's more like 7-ish foot range. I'm just using the image of the movie because it's what I had on call. So Hellboy and the Predator are actually relatively the same height, all things considered. So who's got a better edge here then? Well, Predators live a lot longer. They can live hundreds of years and still be, peak warriors. So Predators are actually going to have more experience under their belt in terms of combat than Hellboy is. Would this be a scenario where the Predator studies Hellboy? I mean, maybe for a bit, but in terms of laying out a specific trap, Predators are not like Kraven the Hunter where they're actually planning out things. To the point where, okay, I'm going to lure you here. I'm going to counter out your ability here with this and this and this. But they will do that for certain prey, but not your general prey. They're just going to have a general hunt. So I'm going to look at this fight essentially as if they came to blows with their standard arsenals and factoring in like the majority of scenarios here. And the majority of scenarios, the Predator will probably be able to land at least, Hellboy will probably be able to land at least one shot. The problem, though, with Hellboy's bullets is that they're not designed for normal people. They're designed to deal with the supernatural. They're specialized bullets. Now, that's not to say if they hit a person, they won't hurt or maybe even blow out their shoulder, but they're just more specifically designed to have lethal effect on something supernatural. And a Predator is much more durable than a normal human. So that being said, unless it hits him straight in the head, I don't see one of Hellboy's bullets immediately killing a Predator. I see it hurting a Predator very much, but not killing a Predator. That being said, a plasma caster to Hellboy's face or body or anything else apart from the arm, that could do a lot more damage because that's just a pure plasma bolt. Now, Hellboy's got a lot of durability to him. He can take more of a beating than a normal human can, but still, it's not good if Hellboy whenever Hellboy gets hit in this fight, it's bad for Hellboy. And it just if he just gets hit either in the arm, the shoulder, or the chest, if he gets hit in the head, God help him. I mean, if he gets hit in like the forehead, his horns might actually prevent some of that damage, but the plasma caster would still do a frightful amount of damage. Hellboy could still get up, and they'd still be clashing. In a physical fight, I'd actually say Hellboy probably has the physical edge, but the Yautja is strong enough to be comparable to him. Speed-wise, though, a Yautja, I think, is probably faster than Hellboy. Its body type just lends it to be faster. Now, and despite their size, Predators are very fast. So that means a Predator, a warrior, a hunter, when he's got his blades out, is probably going to be able to more or less shank Hellboy, just, avoid strikes, slice, dodge, slice. If he's got his spear on him, which we're going with the standard text, he's probably got at least a spear on him, maybe even has the specialized net that like just slices into you as it's grinding or closing. That being said, I don't think the whip would work because the whip he'd probably use his arm to break the whip. So he'd probably tear it off. The spear, though, he doesn't have an immediate counter to that. But again, Hellboy's arm isn't going to just be doing nothing. So when the spear comes to him, he grabs it and he just breaks it. Fires. Lays into the Predator. The long and short of this comes down to does the Predator. Who is just basically going to outlast the other here? Who's got the better odds in a physical fight? And I think it's the Predator. Because Hellboy, when you really break it down, has his firearm, he has his fist, that's it. He doesn't normally carry other weapons on him. Other weapons usually gets through his adventures or whatever, and he's using them to fight with. The Predator is kind of a walking arsenal in many ways. Not only are we dealing with the plasma caster, I didn't even take it into consideration, now I phrase that. I didn't even bring up the Predator being able to turn invisible, seeing the spectrums of light, all that. So, I didn't even bring that up. Because that's not how he'd get the jump on Hellboy to begin with that. And then, because of his code, he'd fight him one-on-one. So, the Predator would, think words here, the Predator is a more walking arsenal. Because again, Hellboy generally only keeps his gun, only a certain amount of ammo, and his indestructible arm. The Predator, on average, carries at least a wrist blade, maybe even two, depending on the Predator. His plasma caster, his plasma cannon. He has armor. It's more ceremonially, but he does have armor. Usually has a dagger on him. Usually will carry at least a spear, depending on the hunt. Admittedly, depending on the hunt and the hunter. Can also have his specialized net on him. Also have the tracking disc. Have the shurikens. Like this, all that really would come down to what type of Predator you're dealing with. And even then, the Predator is still usually carrying more weapons than Hellboy is, and is a better trained warrior for longer. Add on the fact the Predator is just kind of has a better body build for speed fights. I would say that he would probably wind up wearing Hellboy down with multiple shots to the body. And so, I would probably go with Yautja in this fight. But this would be a tough fight either way for both of them. Like, they're both very comparable physically to each other. They both have some X factors in here that are not something the other would be prepared for. So, yeah, I'd probably go with Yautja. But this is just my opinion. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, thanks for watching. I'll be enjoying, and I'll see you next time.